Oh, great. Okay. So nice to see some of you, and even those that I don't see. I still know that you're a big batch of students pursuing, your studies, and also trying to improve your future career. So your whole life is ahead of you, and it's literally on a blank canvas. You of course started your journey now. Some of you, I'm sure, are working as well, but otherwise you still have a very blank canvas ahead of you, in front of you, which you are the author of, which you are the creator of, which you are going to draw on. And that beautiful canvas which is yours, that you're going to paint on your life's story. Let's hope, and I wish that it's the most beautiful one, and that you will make it your absolute best piece of art, piece of work, your life, and also that you will work towards being the absolute best version of yourself, right? So I'm talking about not competing with other people, but more like being competing with yourself to be the best version of yourself. So this morning, Rohanta has asked me to speak to you a little bit about my own experiences, as well as being chairperson of Slascom, what this industry, the ITBPM export industry, is about and what it has. And of course, my own experiences in the telco sector, being the oldest in the mobile technology or mobile telco industry in Sri Lanka, the first and oldest employee, now spanning 34 years. No,
Ladies and
please.
gentlemen, let me introduce our keynote speaker today, a beautiful human being. I think one of the most beautiful human beings I have met. Um, I've been knowing her for so long. She's the Group Chief Custom Officer of Dialogue Axiata. She's also a chairperson of the Digital Customer Experience Expert Working Group for Axiata and Director, Dialogue Business Services. A very, very senior person. I'm actually honored to have your um, time at today's event. In addition to her role at Dialogue, she's the founding member of the chairperson of Slascom. So Slascom is basically all the IT BPO and KPO companies who have got together, and it's the apex body of Sri Lanka, which actually our speaker is the chairperson. Uh, so the Knowledge and Innovation Chamber of Sri Lanka is actually called SLASCOM, a founding board member of the Women's Chamber for Digital Sri Lanka, founding member and past vice president of the Sri Lanka Institute of Service Management, and a past advisory board member of CX Networks, IQPC UK. With over 3 decades of experience in the ICT industry, she is the recipient of multiple global and local awards for women in management, leadership, and for her exceptional contribution and achievement in the sphere of telco and digital customer experience management. Some notable global accolades includes the AX50 Ambient Experience Leader 2020, CX Leader of the Year 2019, and CXPA Global CX Award winner for 2015. Avid and a sought after speaker, presenter, juror at Global Customer Experience and Telco Conference and Awards. She has spoken in over 180 global events. She's the only certified customer experience professional in Sri Lanka and alumnus of the Cranfield School of Management in UK, a lean Six Sigma Black Belt practitioner and a certified Scrum Master. She's a visiting lecturer in the University of Colombo School of Computing since 2009. Ladies and gentlemen, she's not only a industry leader, but she's also a very lovely human being who wants to give opportunities to youngsters. And I personally know her, and she'll always spend time for youngsters. And today we have 76 youngsters listening to you. You guys are the future of this country. And as I told you, ICT is the future of Sri Lanka, because there are so many jobs vacancies, and that's the only place where Sri Lanka can earn US dollars. So you have the top person of this industry talking to you, ladies and gentlemen. Sandra Zoysa, chairperson slash com, group chief customer officer, Dialogue Exiata, and a global award winner for from World Bank. And she just won the top 50 global award in Dubai. So I mean, we can't find somebody better than her to address you. Sandra, over to you.
Thank you so much, Rohanta, for that absolutely glowing, almost embarrassing for me, listening to you say all those nice things about me. But I'm humbled to be here with all of you. Good morning to everyone. All right. So,
Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
oh, great. Okay. So nice to see some of you, and even those that I don't see. I still know that you're a big batch of students pursuing, your studies, and also trying to improve your future career. So your whole life is ahead of you, and it's literally on a blank canvas. You of course started your journey now. Some of you, I'm sure, are working as well. But otherwise, you still have a very blank canvas ahead of you, in front of you, which you are the author of, which you are the creator of, which you are going to draw on. And that beautiful canvas, which is yours, that you're going to paint on your life's story. Let's hope, and I wish that it's the most beautiful one, and that you will make it your absolute best piece of art, piece of work, your life, and also that you will work towards being the absolute best version of yourself, right? So I'm talking about not competing with other people, but more like being competing with yourself to be the best version of yourself. So this morning, Rohanta has asked me to speak to you a little bit about my own experiences, as well as being chairperson of SLASCOM, what this industry, the IT BPM export industry, is about and what it has. And of course, my own experiences in the telco sector, being the oldest in the mobile technology or mobile telco industry in Sri Lanka, the first and oldest employee, now spanning 34 years. Um, I have experiences of what this industry is about and what life in this industry is like, because I've stayed in it for this long. So I'm going to share some of those thoughts with you in the next 10 to 15 minutes. So it really does give me great pleasure to extend to all of you a very warm welcome as you start this new chapter in your life as undergraduates, and some of you perhaps doing your master's programs as well at really a very very reputed educational institute. When APIT was first set up, I actually knew APIT. And that was some 25 over 25 years ago, or around that much, I believe, or more, because my best friend joined APIT, and I used to come and have lunch with her every single day at that head office building. So I know APIT, and I've watched APIT over the years to become what it is today. So let me just start by saying that all of you have made a very, very wise choice with APIT, and also an even better choice by deciding to pursue an IT degree. From what I understand, all you guys are enrolled to follow computer science and cybersecurity and software engineering and the likes. It's amazing that all of you have decided that you're taking on careers in something that's extremely futuristic, right? This will definitely be a start to an extremely lucrative career in the tech industry, and even in the IT BPM export industry that I represent as chairperson of SLASCOM. So if you don't join the IT BPM export industry, you will still be in the local tech industry doing the same thing, but in the local market, which is fine too, right? Either way, you're in an absolutely fantastic, wonderful industry, and you're pursuing a career in an industry that will not be outdated for generations to come. So, me having spent my entire career of nearly 3.5 decades in this great industry, I can tell you that there has never been a dull moment in my life. It has always been full of challenges and endless opportunities, particularly for learning something new every single day, right? So for the last 30 odd years, I've woken up every single morning saying, wow, I have so much to do, right? So much of challenges, so much of new things to learn, and so much to do. It's exciting, it's exhausting, but it pushes you to be the best version of yourself, because there's so much challenges going on in this industry, and so much is changing so rapidly in the advancement of technology in this industry. So working in the tech industry is the fastest way to being a global citizen, I can tell you that, where your skills and competencies and your experience will be of great, great value. And of course, they'll be transferable across any industry and across any country, right? So, getting in here means you are a global citizen. Next, the tech professionals are currently the most sought after. I'm sure you know that. And of course, they're extremely well paid as well, whether they work in Sri Lanka or not. Most companies in the IT BPM export industry currently, over this unfortunate situation that the country is faced with, so currently are pegging their salaries to the dollar, or to a Australian dollar, or to a Swedish krona, whichever that they interact with, and deal with and do business with, right? So they are doing this in a bid to actually hold back these highly sought after and most valuable tech resources in the country, and not to lose them to other countries or other industries. So, as you know, there's a brain drain in our country going on. We have gradually, slowly started losing people, but now that situation has really escalated. So, all the people who are really highly sought after across, whether it be Australia or UK or Europe, US, Canada, are some of the skills. I'm saying even medical, professionals are highly sought after, but also the tech industry professionals are the most sought after as well. So as a result, Sri Lankan companies who are in IT BPM exports are actually, some of them get paid in dollars, but others get dollar equivalent, right? So it's pegged to the dollar. And these days, almost overnight, some of the individuals in the IT industry, their salaries went up threefold because they're pegged to the dollar, right? Threefold overnight. Now, I'm not saying that that's the best practice, but it's a desperate bid to try and hold our people, young people, talented people, experienced people in the country, right? What's more, you can even stay at home these days in Sri Lanka, work from home, and still work for a global company that pays you in dollars. So even that is possible, being an IT professional, because you're using your competence, your knowledge, your skills. You just need a computer and you need connectivity, and that's all you need. You don't need to present yourself at a manufacturing plant and get into manufacturing, or building and things like that, where there's a tangible and physical presence required to do things, right? So ours is the industry, which is really one that is the easiest, if at all, to work in. And I'm sure you know that during the pandemic, when most industries were struggling, really struggling to get a start on at the onset of the pandemic, it is the IT BPM export industry that grew its businesses and was looking out for even more qualified tech professionals, which is actually the only problem that we are faced with, and we will continue to face, because there are people leaving as well. We will continue to face in the next 5 to 10 years to come. Right? So it is really the lack of human resource capacity to grow this industry, right? Which is very lucrative. So we have enough business opportunities, but we don't have enough people to work in our industry, right? So that really is our problem. Um, uh, and this industry, because we are exporting our knowledge, our capabilities, um, and earning foreign exchange, the much required foreign exchange for our country, the US dollars, not having US dollars is the biggest problem our country faces, right? And we are one of the industries that brings in the US dollars into the country. So you have chosen to take up a job in this wonderful industry, right? Which is futuristic, which is full of challenges, gives you great opportunities, regardless of the situation in this country. You can still work, you can still grow, you can earn dollars right at home, or you will have salaries that are pegged to US dollars, which means you are very sought after and you'll have a salary that's way above the market prevailing market rates, right? So what more can you ask for, right? um, the IT BPM industry, I think, is the fastest growing industry, well, globally as well, and also in Sri Lanka, in terms of being able to be a foreign exchange earner for this country right now, right? We all know how our number one, two, three industries, our greatest industries that was bringing in the foreign exchange, like tourism, foreign labor, right? Our poor labor force, mostly, females, housemaids, going and working in the Middle East, all that foreign exchange also started dwindling, right? Then, our most lucrative garment industry, uh, has had to suffer because they can't import what they need in order to do the value add that they do. And a lot of the garment factories, our own, have started moving out to other countries like Bangladesh and Cambodia and so on, right? So we're losing work out of the country. And of course, our agriculture sector, we are very popular in Sri Lanka for exporting tea, spices, rubber, and even gems. They have all suffered during the pandemic. Um, and even our most attractive, as I said, the garment industry, right, which was one of the best, still continues to be impacted due to these constraints in importing the fabric and their finishers, because they actually import all these things. They don't produce the fabric in Sri Lanka. Mostly it's imported. Finishers, zips, everything is imported. And then they do the stitching of the garment and finishing of the garment, a garment for which they need to get all their workers into the factories. So these days, as you know, transport for factory workers or for anyone else is such a challenge, is such a constraint. And obviously, as a result, there's a drop in productivity, and also due to the power cuts, right? And these various struggles we have, there is a drop in productivity in manufacturing, uh, and it's really impacting our garment industry. Um, since theirs is really a business model which is focused on value addition. So they bring stuff, put it together, sew, do the finished garment, and they re-export it, right? When they export it, there's a value addition that happens in the country for stitching the garment and finishing it, right? So that's what they're bringing and that's what they earn, which has been so lucrative for us for a very long time, okay? And now there's all these troubles which makes it a little tougher, right? So if you compare that with the ITBPM export industry, for instance, and I don't even want to talk to you about the agriculture sector and all the trouble that they are having, right? We won't be able to recover in a hurry our crop and the troubles that we have there. So but I'll just compare maybe the ITBPM export industry, where we have nothing tangible, right? We're not importing anything in order to be able to do our job. And of course, we export with no complications of shipping costs or packaging or getting to the factory or production or things like that. We can have our human resource people, human resources, which is our capability, work from home give them a laptop and give them some power, electricity. They can work from home and still do all the work. Now, therefore, from our industry, there's 100% value addition for the country because it's 100% bringing in the opportunity to bring in 100% of what we build into the country, purely because we are using human capabilities of knowledge, skills, creativity, and innovation, which really is our raw material used in production, used to produce products, platforms, and services for our clients across the seas globally, right? So those are a few of the things in which you can see why, from which you can see why this industry is one that is resilient and one that is good to work in. As a qualified professional in computer science or cybersecurity or software engineering, you will have the opportunity of working within a very wide array of exciting and futuristic technologies. Some of them are 5G, cloud and edge computing. You can work in NLP, machine learning, machine co-creativity and augmented design. Digital platforms is an area you can use. You can be using and looking at things such as digital twins, um, robots and cobots, autonomous vehicles, and drones. There's intelligent spaces and smart places now, given especially after the pandemic. We are looking for places and spaces. Then, of course, wearables and augmented humans. There's big data and augmented analytics, supporting, of course, uh, this concept. I don't know whether you are aware of, which is called mass personalization and micro moments. For me, in the telco industry and in customer experience, this is absolutely huge. My work revolves around mass personalization and managing of micro moments for customers using big data and augmented analytics and so on. Also, design thinking as well as robotics, RPA, as you know, robotic process automation. Then there is intelligent automation, which is the new um, term for RPA. There are chatbots, nanotechnology, material sciences, cryptocurrency, distributed ledgers like blockchain. We work at Dialogue with technologies like VR and AR, and now there's mixed reality, and of course, digitally extended reality, which is a new thing. Um, Computer vision and facial recognition are very, very interesting, aspects of technology that all of us will be using more and more as we get into more and more maturity within these fields. So even though these things are not available in Sri Lanka for us, and perhaps we may take a back foot on this, you will be working for clients if you are in our industry who will be using all this. So which means you are able to really produce um, solutions for your global clients using all of these technologies. So I mean, these are a few, very few, I think, from a huge list, but the list goes on and it's endless, right? So if you think about also other technologies and the opportunities in these technologies, if you look at the mobile internet, right? Interfaces, formats, sensors, and apps that we currently use and that we all know of will evolve as mobile computing devices. And those will definitely dominate internet connectivity with about 4.3 billion new users by 2025. So look at the opportunities that are available for all of you, right? Then consider artificial intelligence for a moment. Machine learning and user interfaces like speech and gesture recognition technology will definitely advance to increase productivity or even eliminate some of the knowledge work altogether that is happening even today, right? So we have only scratched the surface of what we see today in terms of AI. There is so much more to go, and the opportunities in this can be endless for you. Think about cloud technology. We talk about cloud technology all the time now. Nearly all IT services and web apps could be delivered through cloud technology, with more enterprises using the public cloud as cybersecurity improves. So, currently, even in Sri Lanka, what's the problem? It's the cybersecurity that people are worried about, which is why businesses don't put their information in the public cloud and they use private cloud networks, right? But as cybersecurity improves, and some of you are taking on studying cybersecurity, so the opportunities in cybersecurity are 100% in this country, especially, as well as more and more globally, right? So when the cybersecurity improves, everybody will move to the public cloud, and use of cloud technology therefore will be a thing to look out for. Then when you think about the internet of things, there are more than 9 billion devices which are currently 9 billion devices which are currently connected to the internet. That number is estimated to grow between 50 billion, from this 9 billion, 50 billion to nearly 1 trillion in the next decade. Right? Next decade, where you are going to be in this IT tech field, the opportunity is a 50 billion to 1 trillion opportunity. That's what you are coming into, right? So organizations will face challenges monitoring and securing product systems, devices, and even people. And therefore, security obviously is going to be utterly critical. So in Sri Lanka, in fact, from our IT BPM industry, we are really, really looking to grow these resources, such as yourselves, in the cybersecurity area, because we really need to be able to manage how um, security runs, and security will be built in to every single product service that we are currently providing to our customers, right? So security will be built in. So as a result, cybersecurity resources are utterly critical, as even today, and of course as we move forward. Think about advanced robotics, advances in artificial intelligence, machine vision. Now today we don't talk about even machine vision, right? Imagine when machines start seeing, right, sensing, uh, motors, hydraulics, and material, will completely change the way products and services are delivered, right? There's a surge in tech talent for building, operating, and maintaining advanced robotics, which is something that will be prevalent in the future. And all of us have a multitude of opportunities in this area. In fact, in my own work today, when I talk about customer experience or even digital customer experience, I'm still dealing with human beings on the other end. I'm thinking about the future of my work, which is going to be even more challenging when, so today it's a man to man, or the relationships are someone else. Today, maybe we do have series, so that might be, man to machine. But imagine, I mean, man to machine is hard enough as it is to manage in terms of customer service and experience. But imagine the day when we have machine to machine interactions. So machine to machine interactions which are intelligent. And then how do we serve? What is customer experience management? What is customer service when in the era of machine to machine? So that is the challenge that's on my head, and I'm thinking about, because there's not enough research in this area, and I'm trying to figure out what happens at that point in time, right? The age old service delivery, person to person, by calling and saying, I have a problem, can you sort it out, this and that, that's like old. That still is prevalent and will continue to be. But in the decades to come, in the future, all that may not be there. And it might just be that machines are talking to machines, right? And machines are telling other machines, this machine is broken, blah, blah, blah. Can you fix it for me, right? So what's customer experience, customer service in a machine to machine era? So for me, that's one of the challenges. That's why I told you there's never a dull moment in my industry. 34 years later, I'm still thinking, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? How is this going to happen? I need to prepare for it. I need to do that because I need to be ready to serve our customers in all of those scenarios. Okay. Let's also look at other technologies like biometric technology. This will enable new authorization services for face, voice, eye, hand, and signature identification. Now, again, in biometric technology, we are just scratching the surface. Even at Dialogue, for years, we've been wanting to move to proper biometric identification. Um, and that has been also one of the challenging things. But imagine when you have all the options of face recognition, voice, eye, hand, and all of that for signature verification or for authenticating and validating customers to let them into whatever the services that they are using this biometric technology. So huge amount of opportunity in that area for sure, right? Um, Imagine 3D printing. 3D printing is not even something that we have started off in Sri Lanka, right? We are hardly doing anything related to 3D printing. But the world is moving very, very swiftly, using 3D printing, right? This could really enable unprecedented levels of mass customization and dramatically reduce the cost of supply chains, generating an estimated economic impact that is around estimated, right, to be around 230 to 550 billion US dollars annually by 2025. And 2025 is so close at hand. Imagine 3D printing opportunity, right? Up to 550 billion annually. Imagine if you're working with these technologies. Imagine how sought after you are and the opportunities in it. Let's for a minute talk about genomics, right? Genetics and biotechnology. So, genetic engineering technology will definitely grow with faster computer processing speeds. DNA sequencing technologies and advanced analytics will improve agricultural production, reduce reliance on fossil fuels, and extend human life expectancy. Now, isn't that one of the problems we are facing right now? Our agricultural production, right? Our reliance on fossil fuel, isn't those that are the real critical things that are really having us Sri Lankans in trouble? Okay, imagine the role that you can play to help this country working with these type of technologies, right? Then, of course, quantum computing, where the application and adoption of quantum computing technology is really moving beyond the current hype. So Google's quantum AI laboratory predicts that the small quantum technologies will be commercially available in 5 years and will actually be able to help businesses increase their revenue, reduce their costs, and lower the investments in infrastructure. Right. So if Google's saying that they are going to do it, then you know how it is. That will happen. So imagine the opportunities in quantum computing also. So I have only explained just a few of what are the possibilities working in tech, right? It's the most amazing place to be. It's the most exciting place to be. It's a carnival, right? And the future is going to be a lot brighter working in these spaces. So you really have entered a very exciting world of adventure, I can tell you. And I hope that you are excited to begin this journey today as I did way back in March of 1989. Some of you may not have been born, or maybe all of you have not been born in 1989. When I first entered this industry with so much hope, not knowing what's going to happen, and looking back 34 years, oh my goodness, everything that has happened is unbelievable and yet amazing and true. I could not have imagined it ever way back in 1989 as a young 20 odd year old, in my early 20s when I actually joined the in tech industry, right? And I know for a fact, looking back these 30 odd years, I will continue to remain still in this industry until the day I retire, right? As you know, at a 55 or 60. People usually retire from their employment. Now, the opportunity for me is I can live all the way through from my first job all the way to retirement just in this industry because it offers so much of opportunities. Beyond retirement, I can still continue to maybe float a business in any one of these areas and continue to be if that's what I want to do. So the opportunities are endless, right? And will last a lifetime. With the knowledge and skills plus the qualifications that you will soon earn by following these programs that you're enrolled to do, the opportunities available to you obviously will be far greater than those which I got some 30 odd years ago. When and I can tell you, I'm really excited for you. I wish I was your age, starting up all over again in my career to see what an amazing career it can be and so much more progress to look forward to, right? Whereas of course when you get to the next 5-10 years and these amazing technologies, I would have been retired and I can only watch perhaps, right? Only watch what kind of careers all of you can build. So I'd really wish that I was born in your era to be able to live through these times. Now, having told you these things, right? Um, as chairperson of SLASCOM, I would really be failing in my duty if I don't tell you a little bit about the opportunities that exist for all of you and how each one of you can play a pivotal role in resuscitating our country back to life from, um, you know, all these problems that's fueling the growth of our economy, right? We are in a really bad place, as all of you know. I don't have to talk to you about it. But you have opportunities, not only opportunities, you even have a responsibility as a Sri Lankan to get our country back to a growth phase and build up our economy, right? So even though these catastrophes have kind of been around for the past 4 decades, you may not have been born, but I know even when I was a young kid, perhaps at your age, I had to go through the war, right? War was the biggest thing. But thereafter, I personally faced the tsunami, right? I nearly died in the tsunami. So thereafter, of course, we've had the pandemic, we've had Easter bombing, and now it seems like we've had the worst of it all, right? But through all these, including the pandemic, particularly during the pandemic, Sri Lanka's IT BPM sector really has emerged as a beacon of resilience, inspiring and supporting even all the other sectors and the country to navigate through these difficult times. So, actually, our industry is very resilient, right? In fact, ours is probably one of the few, if not the only, industry that continue to grow during the pandemic and even after. So we just continue to grow, right? Through all this, because we are serving global clients, we just continue to grow. Global clients, because of the inflation, the global recession, and as you know, the great resignation, right? That is hitting globally, they are compelled across the world to look to outsourcing, to look to getting solutions produced at a cheaper price from countries such as ours. And mind you, when it comes to engineering and technological solutions, we are the best. We are comparable with global products and service standards. So we don't come so cheap, but certainly we can get the price that we demand and the price that we really deserve. So that is also something which is a fact in our industry. um, Only a very few, you know had trouble, and even those few that have trouble, all the trouble is around, oh my gosh, my resources are leaving, my tech people are leaving, I lost 5 people, I lost 10 people, everybody's recruiting my people. That is the problem they have, right? It's a good problem to have when there are people like you, studying tech and joining our industry. But one problem to have, because we can't produce enough a human resource qualified tech capacity, and of course, less experience, because newer people are coming and the more experienced people are all professionals are all leaving our industry. So that is a problem, right? One of the facts that you might need to know or would like to find out and may find interesting is that just during the past decade in Sri Lanka, the IT industry has grown more than 300%. And of course, we are currently at about 1.5 billion US dollars in revenue in our exports. We provide about 80,000 to 100,000 jobs to professionals. Some of these professionals which are very fast depleting, losing, right? And we need to fill it up. And actually, overall, we account for about 12% of Sri Lanka's exports so far, right? So I really have no doubt in my mind that our industry and anyone working in this industry will survive through everything that's going on right now. Most of us will even not just survive but thrive, to come out stronger and more resilient, to reach the pinnacle of success in the decades to come. And all of you now have a great opportunity to be a part of this narrative. Claim your space within this great industry, just like I did, just like so many other people did. Carve yourself a niche, right? And claim your spot in this great industry. You can be entrepreneurs of this generation and the next generation, who will be creating the next set of big tech and BPM companies in the country, right? Today, everybody talks about Virtusa, Pearson's, 99X, WSO2, Cisco Labs. But all of you have the opportunity to be the next Virtusas, be the bosses, create the next WSO2, Cisco Labs, and all that. Imagine that opportunity that you have to become tech entrepreneurs as well, right? So much more that you can do, providing jobs to other people, providing solutions that are used by Fortune 500 companies, top global companies, and bringing in the dollars that will make our country strong. Okay, I'm sure you already know that SLASCOM facilitates trade and business, propagates education and employment, which is, in fact, we have a relationship or a partnership with APIT as well, in looking at this area of propagating education and employment, which is super important for us. We encourage research and innovation, and play a role in influencing the national policy framework. So we are constantly having conversations with the government. In fact, we had a meeting yesterday with the minister who manages petroleum, as well as the prime minister himself. And talking, because they want to make sure that they support our industry. They don't want our industry to dwindle, to fail. No matter what, they want to make sure we're bringing in the dollars, right? So this is a very precious industry for the country. Then we are at SLASCOM, the catalyst for growth, and also the National Chamber for the Knowledge and Innovation Industry of Sri Lanka, right? So it's not just about IT BPM, but it's the knowledge services and knowledge and innovation industry of Sri Lanka, right? That is way beyond technologies and services. It covers almost everything. Everything is about knowledge and innovation, right? So that's what we promote. So SASCOM has a vision of achieving a 5 billion US dollars in exports, creating 200,000 jobs, and launching 1,000 startups by 2025. So this is the vision and aspiration. And in at SLASCOM, we have a membership of over 350, and all of them are volunteers, right? Voluntarily working to make sure this vision can be achieved and this industry grows and becomes lucrative, because we all know that it definitely has the potential to be the number one export industry of this country. Easily, right? If we only have the people, the resources, we can make it happen. All we need are, hundreds of thousands or more people like you studying tech, studying subjects and fields in IT, and coming into our industry, right? Easy. That's all we need. If we have that much, the world is our oyster. We can go get the business. We can, promote, generate, and bring our country into a much better place. We can not only be 12% contribution, we can go up to 50, 60, and beyond in our contribution towards the growth of this wonderful, beautiful paradise island of ours, right? So SLASCOM is um, not just about the 5 billion export, not just about the 200,000 jobs, not just about uh, creating 1,000 startups. Uh, it's at the fundamental level, it's about creating people, creating human talent factories. Okay, human talent factories, and making sure that we have enough tech people to be able to do all this stuff. So without it, we can't really, you know, reach our aspirations and our ambitions that we have for our country, the vision that we have, right? So being a human talent factory, and having all of these amazing, wonderful educational establishments and institutions in our country support us tenfold to grow human talent in a way that we can bring them all into our industry, and we can grow our industry and bring in the much needed foreign exchange into our country to make our country strong again, and to get past this problem is, you know, easier said than done, but it's an easy solution to fix if we can have this human talent factory, as I say, right? And I've taken a lot of time. So before I wind up, I would also like to pass on some of my own learnings over the years, which hopefully will be helpful to you as well. A few quick things. So be a critical thinker, keep an open mind, always separate fact from opinions, and find your purpose in life. Right? Find your purpose. Purpose is why we exist. It's what motivates us and what helps us to kickstart each day. Me, every single morning, I wake up with a whoa, another day. How exciting, right? And my husband is almost annoyed about it because he's like, what are you so excited about? Everything is down in the dumps. We are going through hell. And you're just so excited every single day. And you've been doing that for the last 30 years nearly. I've been married, right? He's like, what is so exciting? You're just all very passionate, very enthusiastic, very happy, much like a teenager every single day. He's like, what is it's almost irritating for people, other people, to watch people who have found their purpose in life, and what energy comes and what passion comes from inside of you, right? Because it really gives meaning to what you do. It really gives meaning to life. Once you find your purpose, approach everything with that in mind. It will fulfill you and make you happy. I can guarantee you that. And of course, education, as Nelson Mandela famously said, is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Now, all of you have the opportunity to do exactly that, to do just that. You are part of the generation that can drive positive change and bring this country out of this mess that our aged, uneducated, ruthless leaders have put us in. Why are we in this mess? Because we have aged, uneducated, cheating, ruthless leaders, right? Uneducation is the start of all the problems that we have in our countries. Uneducated, right? So you can change that. Your generation can change that, right? All of you, I'm sure, will go on to being great leaders in our community and in our society. Therefore, you can live out your purpose with passion, because these days the younger generation, unlike when we were your age, are not people who just blindly want to go and do things. A lot of people, in fact, the Aragale is all about purpose, isn't it? Aragale now going on to 90 days is all about purpose. They are fighting passionately towards a purpose, right? right? And it's the young. And of course, there are other people who's coming and spoiling the whole thing by bringing politics into it. But otherwise, the young people are still, all of you are still focused on a purpose and fighting for it passionately. So that's what I mean about finding your purpose, and then you will realize your passion that will give you a reason to wake up every single morning and do something. Do something that is good for the community, for the society, for yourself, for your family, for your country, right? It's just bigger than you and beyond you, right? So, with that, I'd like to say, may each of you fully and completely realize your potential to make this country and the world a better place for all of us as well, right? And with that, I'd like to wish you the very best, and of course, God's blessings on all of you for a wonderful, successful career as well as a life. So I know I've taken a lot of time. Rohant, I hope that is okay with you. And that's actually what I have to tell all of you.
It was fantastic, Sandra, and I mean, I think now everybody understands why you're a very beautiful person and how much you are so purposeful in trying to get people to follow and build this industry. Uh, Thank you so much and sincerely appreciate. And Ruth, over to you, Ruth.
Thank you,
Okay,
Dr.
bye then.
Mohante.
Absolute pleasure. Rohant, I can leave, right?
Ruth, you like to thank Sandra?
Yes, yes, please.
Okay,
How
I
can
will
I
go.
not? Miss Sandra de Zoysa, you are a fountain, an endless fountain of motivation and inspiration. I mean, just looking at you speak, listening to you, even I am inspired. So I come from an IT background as well. Now I feel like, I should get back to it. But that said, I mean, let me quickly, I'm running on to another session as well. Quickly, let me say thank you so much. You have been a true inspiration, not just being a lady with 30 plus years in the industry. I mean, that's amazing. And you're still motivated, you still have that drive. I think you are not only an inspiration to the girls, the young adults here, not just the girls, but also the boys. And one thing, I think Dr. Hunter was right in saying that you were the best speaker for this inauguration because you cover both ends of that spectrum. I mean, it's both sides of it. Um, you're coming from the industry side, and then you're also talking about the entrepreneur side of it. And I think students, if you've been listening well, I hope you have, because there are some wonderful things Miss Sandra has pointed out in terms of how to build work experience and the value of work experience and how it can pay off as well. And I love, love, love what she said at last, finding purpose. So if you're here as a for the cybersecurity or computer science or software engineering courses, all three are just wonderful. You can grow so much in it. And she has mentioned a long list of different job opportunities, and the list, like she said, is it grows. And so keep your horizons open. Don't restrict yourself because there are upcoming technologies every single day, as she pointed out. And Miss Sandra, you have just, how can I say that? You have poured a lot of igniting fuel into these students. And it's the perfect spark, I think, for for a wonderful journey ahead for them. I mean,
I can actually do that for hours non-stop. It was with great difficulty that I restricted and limited myself to half an hour, 45 minutes, whatever it was. But trust me, I can do this without batting an eyelid for a couple of hours because there's so much more and it's so exciting. And, don't be bugged about the current situation. These situations will prevail, there's difficulty, but, it's never going to be a constant, right? Change is the only constant in life. So if you are
indeed.
adaptable to change, if you can maintain an open mind, and be adaptable always. um, Take all the opportunities that come your way, uh, the opportunities to grow, right? And one tiny other tip is what I want to practice and what I do and what I tell all my people. I have about 2,000 young people working with me, um, at Dialogue. I tell all of them, um, the only way to change and the only way to grow if is there's pain, right, and discomfort. If there's no
Mhm.
discomfort, that means you're in the same spot, you're not growing. So every day find yourself an opportunity to do something that makes you uncomfortable, right? For me, my mantra is being comfortable with being uncomfortable. If you can practice that, then you will grow until the day you die, right?
Completely
And
agree
that's
with you
the
a
thing.
100%. Completely agree with you. Thank you so much. So I think we from the computing school shall take you up on that and invite you for many more sessions with us throughout the course of their studies.
Not a
Thank you so
problem.
much for your
Absolute
time.
pleasure. I will certainly be. It will be my pleasure to come chit chat with all of you. Maybe even have a Q&A where they can ask questions, because this is one way and it's a bit boring. But I'm certainly open to that. So good luck to all of you, and enjoy this amazing opportunity you have given yourself, or your parents have given yourself. To further your career and be a absolute success in life. Yeah. All right. See you then. Bye.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Sandra,
Bye.
so
Welcome.
much.
Bye.
Bye for now.
Okay.
Thank you,
Bye.
Miss.
Bye.
Thank you.